It's Johnny, and I just took my gummy. Sunday afternoon, nice weather, my dogs, and I want to talk about truth over Trump. Truth over Trump. I supported Trump. All three elections. I lost social media accounts. You remember back when the other stuff, you were voting for Biden or Harris, you were getting up to $5,000 per video you did. That's why some of them were so generic. Trump didn't pay nothing. Trump's never lied to us. Doesn't matter how I feel or the disappointments or just my opinion on certain things. I don't think we ought to be invading the leader of the last Persian empire on the planet. It's not a planet. The realm. Let's go realm. The man hid underneath the mountain. Even if that's the case, you bombed a foreign leader within 100 and something days because by all means, we must protect Israel. Why? Because they're our ally. How? When have they ever helped anyone? Nobody even asks questions. It's the state of Israel, the chosen people, were called Palestinians. The Palestinian Jew was the chosen Jew. But the Ukrainian Jew said, hold up a minute. They conquer the world, boys. They come up with terms like compounding interest. They've been kicked out of every country, throughout millennia. Yeshua. It's not Jesus. Jesus is the story. Yeshua is the man. Yeshua was a Jew, and he exposed the Ukrainian Jews that had their hands all in religion. World War I, World War II, trying to start World War III. They've got it down. They want this to happen. It's not a prediction. It's a game plan. But don't worry. In America, I just got out of a conversation about Native Americans. And is Redskins offensive? I said, absolutely not. Their warrior, their pride, the mentality of them refusing to go on to the tax plantation is absolutely worth being the mascot of any team, of every team. We all live on a tax plantation, land of the free, where nothing's free. The only thing you can do without a license technically is get pregnant, but we're not allowed to talk about abortions or where those body parts go and how much they're worth. I've always said, man, if you have an opinion in slavery, it doesn't matter what you feel or what you think. If you have an opinion, you would have been on the side. If you have an opinion in abortion, you would have been on the side of slavery because you would have backed it in, well, it's mine and it's my ownership and it's my body and it's my choice and I've got legal standings. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter how anybody feels. We will forever be known as the generation that killed its youth in the womb. And then if you want to get out where the body parts goes, well, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. So if you're one of those people, man, if I was alive during slavery, what would you have done? Not a fucking thing. If I was alive during slavery, I'd have owned as many people as I could to keep families together. Absolutely. Let's all work together and build a nation. Or I thought that's what our politicians were supposed to be doing. But it's not. They're paid by other countries. We vote on them and they get rich by everybody else. That's why as soon as they're elected, they walk into Washington, D.C. and it says, if you're red, go right. If you're blue, go left. You're on teams, man. You don't work for the people that voted for you. I wish everybody in North America, Canadians, Mexicans, Guatemalans, Costa Ricans, Panamanians, doesn't matter. I wish everybody could understand that we're all a conquered people. Every one of us. I wish I could go live on YouTube, but I don't have the followers yet. I just started that. But the first thing that hit 1641, there's 120 million people living in North America. We don't know their histories. That's never going to be taught. The first thing you're going to learn is the very first president is George Washington. And my favorite president is John Hancock. He declared our independence, wrote it as big as he could. But John Hancock wasn't a president. Yeah. Were there any black presidents? There's no presidents before George Washington. Is that what you're saying? I mean, even Prince found that. Prince got me on that. I believe there was 8 black presidents before. We finally said, hey man, in a world where the economy is based on slavery, slavery's everywhere. It's never nowhere. John Hancock said we're going to have a nation of our own where all men are created equal. We don't know how the fuck we're going to do it because it's never been done. The groups of people, the main group of people today, back then when Yeshua stood up to them and exposed them and they put him on Christianity's #1 torture device. See, they made the Christians do it. Their fingerprints are... They always make other people do it, and I hate seeing Trump doing it. But Yeshua exposed them, man. Said, you don't have to do it on the backs of everybody else. Who financed every aspect of slavery? Not just the people, not just the capture, not just the transportation, all the fucking ships. Everywhere, man. Everywhere. How about the plantations? How about just businesses that utilized slavery? All colors. See, our education is so poor in the United States that its #1 priority is to protect information that exposes the people in control. Land of the free where nothing's free. You don't own your house. You just pay the taxes and do the upkeep. Nuh-uh, got a piece of paper. It says deed. Anybody can sue you for that paper. That's through the court systems. You don't even own your car. Yeah, Johnny, I got a title. That's a piece of paper. Park in the wrong spot. See what happens. The tow truck driver's got authority over you. Airline employees. But think about this, man. Corporations for profit take over cities of cities, and they're called corporations. It's called the city of a city. And they hire employees that swear an oath to uphold your constitutional rights when all they can tell you is what's against the law. Statutes, codes, regulations. Fuck you. That's the only thing. And then they're going to tell you within minutes how much you owe the boss or the people that hired them. How is that feasible in the land of the free? I got my first DUI, and I was exposed to a lot. And I argue with the police. I said, man, hey, I want to go to the hospital. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about guilt or innocence anymore. So when you hear somebody's story like mine, don't just say, hey, oh, you're guilty. Man, I deserve 1,000 DUIs. But on this particular night, I'm like, hey, man, take me to the hospital. I'm parked on the side of the road. I needed to go to the hospital in the Taco Bell drive-thru. I couldn't even speak. Couldn't move my face. Hands, I think I was roofied. I know in Nashville that weekend, because somebody told me, dude, you sound like you got roofied. And that's happened to me one other time in my history where I got the shit beat out of me. I drank a drink, and when the cowboy came back, I just said, don't hit me in the teeth. I don't know what it was about. I think it had something to do with prison stuff. I ran the prison system. I worked it 12 years, but I ran it for 3. I loved it. Got my throat cut. Started a faith and character program, man. But I got my first DUI, and I told that officer, man, you can't do that. You're tearing the carpet out of my car. What the fuck are you doing? You're breaking my vehicle. But I'm going to tell you what happened in court, guys. There's zero evidence. Zero evidence. Is there a container? Your Honor, sir, do they have an admission of guilt? I told him I hadn't been drinking. Breathalyzers? No. Well, no. Well, you were already in jail, and then you said you didn't want to do that. I don't have to do that, Your Honor. I don't even have a driver's license. I surrendered it 5 months prior to. Said, I don't want another CDL. I hate being harassed by DOT. I don't have to have a license to travel in the world, in the land I own, right? We pay for our roads through our fuel tax. Everybody that buys fuels pays for the roads. Does that give the cities the cities? Doesn't matter. That's just my personal opinion. In the court of law, you got to have some evidence, right? Hey, hold on. Why is nobody turning in their body cams? Nobody's turning. Your Honor, there's no evidence. Mr. Carruthers, you're not allowed to defend yourself in a way that's testimonials, what she kept saying. Every time I tried to talk, they interrupted. No, get the guilty. And the whole time I was in the process, all they wanted was money. It's like, hold on, man, hold on. I wanted to go to the hospital. The cop said, I got to throw you straight into the criminal justice system. Well, let's get some evidence first. Let's go get my blood. Because I think it's my medicine. I was like, hey, man, I think my medicine, the VA changed my meds. I thought it was diabetes because I felt like I was in and out of consciousness. I've never felt nothing like that. I was like, man, I felt like I was being electrocuted. Was I having a heart attack? Please take me to the hospital. No, you're going to jail. We're going to start you in this process where everything this way, cash only. The tow truck driver, the impoundment's cash only. The bondsman was cash only. The city of the city to get the paperwork to get my vehicle out was cash only. What was that, like 400? I was about 20. Let's see. The bond was 1,000 cash. The tow truck driver was 400 cash, and the city of the city was 346.50 cents cash. And I was parked on the side of the road. But the speaker guy at Taco Bell's like, bro, you mean call you an ambulance? I couldn't talk, man. I made it roughly from the Taco Bell. I made it probably, 400 feet. And I just pulled off the road and just sit there with my lights on. And when the cop got there, like I said, man, he went fucking nuts. He was telling me that I backed into a motorcycle and ran over it. I was like, hey, what the fuck? No. So there was a motorcycle in front of me, and I tried to communicate to him. But I hit his blinker, cracked his blinker. He was sitting there waiting at the window, and I got an emergency. He said he didn't understand me in court. But that didn't matter. Said if I'm having a heart attack and I try to make it to the hospital, why couldn't I go to the hospital? What if they drew my blood and it was a roofie? Because it doesn't matter. I went back to the bar that was, and I inspected because I asked the guy that bought me the one shot. I never even admitted going to the bar. Have you had anything to drink tonight? No, sir. I need to go to the hospital. Can you walk a line for me? No, sir, I can't let go of this car. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong with me. Well, I don't believe you. We're going to throw you in the jail first. We're going to go this route. Then we're going to take you to county. Then you're going to pay all this, and then you're going to try to figure out what's the matter with you. All right, how about that? That's not going to hold up. No. Well, we're also going to tear your fucking car apart. I just bought this Honda Accord hybrid from Texas. Had the Texas tag on it. Bought it from a friend of mine. I trust him. He's never steered me wrong or done me wrong. He said, hey, man, I'll sell you this car. Pulled it up, $19,000 value. I said, hey, man, what do you want for it? I'd probably let you have it for 10. That's why we're friends, bro. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I'm looking for. But, dude, they tore the carpet out of that trunk looking at that lithium battery. And I was like, I don't know anything about that. Well, what's the box on your rear view mirror? I said, I don't know what that is, sir. And he opened that up. And I don't know how he got it open. And all that radar, electronic equipment fell out. And he tried to push it up in there, and every light's on the dash. And apparently that radar system controls your cruise. It's $2,200. And they didn't have to prove anything, man. And like I said, that weekend, a big report came out of Nashville, out of Vanderbilt. And in one weekend, 40 roofie cases. And I started asking around. I was like, man, is roofies getting bad in Midwest City, Oklahoma? And the girls are like, it's getting worse than that. I said, I'm going to go check this fucking video. I asked my boy Asian that's bought me the shot, which I've made an ass in this bar before. I don't take a lot of shit, man. Say, hey, man, how'd you feel after that shot? He said, it's the worst thing ever. I laid on the floor and I don't remember half the night. I was like, fuck. Well, let's look at the tape. The drinks are poured outside the camera, which I'm not saying that's it. I'm not saying that's it. It doesn't matter guilt or innocence. I'm saying the burden of proof falls on the police officer, right? You have to get some evidence, like a beer can or a whiskey container or whatever you're accusing me of. And if I'm just requesting to go to the hospital, you can't just say, no, we're not doing that. Because I'm going to search your car, because everybody's got something in their car, right? Everybody. I mean, you get an ibuprofen, and I get those by the droves from the VA. 800 milligram ibuprofen, and if it's not in the container, it's a crime. Everything's against the law. Everything. And you're talking to a 12-year Department of Corrections guy that worked it downriver. And you're sitting there looking at how much authority. They're not even called judges, guys. They're administrators. They're hired employees by the county. The county pays them to oversee the profits. But Johnny, what are the profits? Everybody that commits any types of crimes, DUI, it's a misdemeanor. The county can send in my social security number and my crime to the U.S. Treasury for bonds at average. I'm not saying mine's not going to be $1 million, but on average, it's $500,000. Everybody that commits a crime that has a social security number is making money. Who wins with drugs in your community? Can I ask you that? Let's just start at the list. Does the addict win? They lose their teeth. They age 12 times faster than normal. No, bro. Does the addict's family? We all know that cancer. We know those lies, deceits, the theft. Oh, some of them families live through that shit. Does the communities win? Does the school systems? Does the businesses? Who wins with drugs in your system? In your communities? The courts. They're right, Donna. That's right.